those that haven't seen our videos before, we're Harry and Nikki, a 23 and 24-year-old couple from the UK.
We've just finished a His v Hers van build series, where I converted this Mercedes-Benz Sprinter.
Whilst I finished this Iveco Daily Luton in just 6 weeks.
We're currently vlogging our travels around Europe, living out of our Luton van, trying to chase the sun in winter.
But now that you're up to date, let's show you around our tiny home.
So we're going to start the tour at the back of the van, where we actually have these two big blue barn doors which fully open and lead to our galley kitchen. So starting off with the kitchen, we've got a 2-burner gas hob over on the far right here, which is where we do pretty much all of our cooking. There's nothing more rewarding than cooking your own meals in the back of a van. Obviously cooking all the time in the van can leave quite a mess, so we've actually gone with these splashback tiles from Wix, which I think are like a farmhouse vibe one. But yeah, they just kind of add this nice backing to our worktop. Beneath the hob in this cupboard down here, we have our 240 volt fridge, which hasn't caused us any problems yet. It saved us a lot of money. It was something like £150 for the fridge, rather than something crazy like £500 for a 12 volt one. And that's just an area we've chosen where we can save a little bit of cash. Now, saving those pennies is always important in a van conversion, but one thing we did not want to stinge out on was our coffee machine, because we need coffee in the morning. Now, the coffee machine itself is a Swan Nordic coffee machine, which plugs into our 240 volt socket, which slides out of the worktop like so. I can't recommend installing one of these sockets into your worktop more if it's something that you're going to use a lot, because they just slide away really easily and look kind of neat. So I've got 3 drawers below me here, the top one being used for all of our cutlery, all of our utensils and stuff like that. The middle drawer is used for all of our saucepans, all of our crockery, all of our plates, etc. And the bottom drawer is all of our non-perishable food, with even more baked beans and stuff stowed away there.
Moving on to the upper half of our kitchen, here we have put these mason jars where we put our sugar and our coffee for now. We still need to find something else to put in these two. Moving over to here, we've actually put up a thermometer and a spice rack. At first we actually put obviously some spices in here and our salt and pepper, but then we realised we wanted it to be more accessible for things we use actually more often, and more often than not we actually use deodorants, moisturisers and all that type of stuff. So that now lives here. And obviously we've got these 2 overheads up here. We built these completely from scratch, apart from the doors, which are actually IKEA doors, and they're about, I think, £6 each. Inside this one we have my beauty stuff, so any of my moisturisers, my mirror, I've got my pants and socks there, and just anything that I need basically every single day. And in this overhead we have our books, so we put all of our books up there, as well as some of our baked beans which we bought from England, because the last thing we want to do is run out of baked beans on the road. We've also got this little sage green tray thing here where we keep our butter, as well as things like jams. It might be worth mentioning that all of these have a push-click lock, so none of our stuff comes falling out whilst we're on the road driving. Moving on to the sink area, here I decided to go for a huge sink because I think it's really important to be able to lob all your dirty dishes in there and just head straight on the road in the mornings. I opted for this gold tap because I think it's kind of bougie, and it fits in with all of my handles and my knobs around the kitchen.
Knobs.
I decided to put this really cute mirror here. I bought this from Home Bargains. It was literally like £8, and I think it adds so much light and brightness to the sink area.
Because if you didn't know, Nikki's a bit of a bargain queen. So yeah, she loves a bargain.
So I've added a lot of random hooks and shelves around the van just to make use of some storage. So here I've got this little caddy where I keep our hand wash, and I also keep our toothbrush and toothpastes. As for this upper head, it's such a random one. It's like our prettiest one we could have bought. It's got this beautiful window effect on it, and we've decided to use it for our dirty washing. I'm not sure why we've done that. We've only been living here for 3 weeks, so we kind of need to sort out a new place for that. And finally, the last thing in the kitchen is this cupboard, which is below the sink. In here we just keep all of our kind of cleaning products, fairy liquids, all that type of thing. We also keep things under here like our shopping bags and some toilet rolls and stuff like that. On the side of the door is actually our bin as well. We did this in our last build, which was our school bus, and it is just so useful to be able to open up the door and pop all your rubbish in the bin.
That is the idea of a bin.
It is, isn't it?
So behind this magical door is our bathroom. Now, the part of this van conversion that me and Nick's are most proud of is this shower. We really wanted this shower to feel super luxurious and like you could be anywhere in the world, specifically not in the back of a van. So we went for this marble panelling effect on the walls, and we've even got a bifold door. I forgot to mention that the shower's actually got hot and cold running water and is run on a pressurized system, which I will show you around in a little bit. So on the left of the bathroom, we have some towel rails, which we are planning on putting a mirror above. We just haven't got round to buying one yet. On the right of that, we have our porta potty, which is just for emergency wheeze at night, because Nikki wheezes a lot in the night. And then we have a porthole window on the wall, which lets some really nice light into the bathroom and stops it getting damp in there when I crank the heat up in my shower. But that's pretty much the bathroom concluded.
Hosting on the road is such a vital part of van life for us, so we decided to have a very big sofa area. This foam is actually, I think, 5 inches thick, so it is really comfy. And there's also another sofa area opposite this, so we can have probably 5 or 6 people in here at one time. I normally find myself editing here. This is kind of like my editing spot, so I can look out the window and enjoy the view. So below the seating area is actually all of our electrics, including our battery, our inverter, our 12-volt system. But I think we're not going to go into that today because we've actually already got so many videos in the past of us doing our electrical system. We'll link that in the description below if you're interested. But something I will talk about is our control panel, which is underneath our sofa area. So we'll start off with our diesel heater, which is such a game changer for winter van life. We've used it most mornings and it makes getting out of bed so much easier. Another thing that we have installed underneath our sofa is our radio and speaker system. So our friend Kezi helped us install this, and it's literally just 2 Pioneer speakers and a radio where we have it Bluetooth to our phone and we can just jam out whenever we want. Below that, of course, we have some more 240 volt sockets. They're so useful for just plugging in our laptops or our camera batteries. At the end here, we've also got an MT50, which just shows us how our battery's doing, with how much solar it's getting in. As we say in every single van tour, if the little man on our screen is happy, then so are we.
Now, space saving in a van is vital, so that is why we made the decision to put our bed above the cab. It gave us so much room to kind of use the rest of the van for how we wanted to use it, and all you're really doing on a bed is sleeping up there, and it is perfectly comfortable for that. There's very little to talk you through up there except for the fact that it is a full-size double bed, and we actually have what we call a TV up there because we use an iPad stand which is mounted to the side of our bed, so it's perfect for getting cozy in the evening. Now, underneath our bed, we've used this area for storage. We have each got 4 boxes where we keep all of our clothes underneath the left side of our bed. And on the right side of the pathway, we have storage for bigger items like our outdoor seats, as well as things like coats and spare tools for on the road. Now, I forgot to mention that we actually have our boiler under here. This is where it all gets a little bit technical, a little bit complicated, and something we were really scared to install in our van, but so far have no regrets, and it is working perfectly. Now, because we were so paranoid about this, we've got 2 carbon monoxide detectors right next to it, because safety first, kids. Obviously, as you can see from this storage area, it leads straight through to our cab, which is a great access point and something we use all the time.
So the last thing to talk about is the van itself. We bought it from Facebook Marketplace for £10,500, and the van itself is actually a 2015 Iveco Daily Luton. The engine itself has only got 123,000 miles, so hopefully it's got plenty of life in it.
So we're not 100% on this, but I think the van is something like 7.5 metres in length. It's 3.35 metres high, including our solar panels, and we've just got a couple more gadgets on the outside of the van to show you. So this is the flue for our boiler, which lets out all of the carbon monoxide for when we're showering. Next to that, we have our water fill-up point. Now, that is something we forgot to mention just now on the inside of our tour. We have a 125 litre fresh water tank under one of our benches. And the grey tank of our van is actually on the chassis of our van underneath, and it has about 75 litres of holding capacity. And we find that so useful. It just means whenever we get to a grey water dumping station, we can open the tank and let it drain itself. In the past, we've just had the grey tank underneath the kitchen sink. We've had to manually remove it ourselves, and it has been so long. So this van has been a real game changer for having less van life chores.
So that brings us to the end of this van tour.
If you're planning your own Luton conversion, we've linked all the products we've used for this build in a Google Sheets document below.
Now we've got some super exciting projects coming in the new year that we just can't wait to share with you guys.
So make sure you're following us on Instagram @TheVanBitchesProject to stay in the loop.
Anyway, see you next Sunday.